So first of all, welcome to the Energy Star Talk, Ville.
Thank you.
How is it back now to promote your new record in the cold Berlin?
It's fabulous. Well, the day has just started, but I got butterflies in my stomach, which is always a good sign. I've never worked on an album as hard as this one, so it just feels good that there's still people who are interested in what we do. Because at the end of the day, I gotta be honest and do thank the possibility of being here after what, more than 10 years. You know, we released our first album in '97. That was ages ago. We're still going on strong, and we still have the bread on the table from the music and a roof on top of our heads.
And did you think in '97 that when your debut album came out that you would still do that 12 years after?
I was thinking that we'd be way bigger. But you know, obviously, when you start working on music, you're hoping for the best. You're doing as much work and to try to write the best songs you can to be able to see the world and travel the world. And obviously, we had high expectations, but I'm never like, I never have plans. So everything is usually hopefully a positive surprise. You know, like going to New Zealand for the first time, and you know, coming over to Berlin for the first time in '98, I think it was, or '97, stuff like that. You know, it's amazing when you don't have too many expectations. You hope for the best and see, you know, where the river takes you.
And Screamworks will be your 7th album now.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, everybody says the debut is difficult. The second one to establish your band is difficult. And then, was it easier? Did you have less pressure now with the 7th than with the previous
Well, it's
ones?
never easy. Usually what they say about the band's first album is the fact that the band has had so much time to prepare for the first album. So you've formed a band, you've rehearsed a lot of songs, you played your first gig, so you have a lot of material for the first album. Then the second one is the hard one, because all of a sudden you realize that you got to write an album in like, what, year and a half, 2 years. But I think that with each and every album there comes its own problems, so to speak. And music nowadays, especially with illegal downloading and everything, is very competitive. And it's going more into the 50s, 60s cycle. So a lot of people are more listening to just one track only. There's a lot of, especially in R&B, a lot of artists that people can download a single 10 million times, but they don't buy the album. And it's the same in rock and roll. There's a lot of good bands trying to, you know, on the charts, and it's always tough. But I think that in our case, music still comes from a very personal place, and you know, I'm bad in verbally explaining my emotions to other people, so I do it via music, and that's how I make my living.
And for Screamworks, Love in Theory and Practice, which is coming out on February 12th here in Germany, you worked with an American producer, Matt Squire, who has previously worked with Taking Back Sunday, Panic at the Disco, even Katy Perry. Why did you choose an American, and why him exactly?
Well, you got to take risks, I guess. We have had the opportunity of working with a British producer, Tim Palmer, for quite some time. We worked on several albums with him, and we thought that you need to change. You can't do the same old, you know. And Tim was feeling the same because we knew each other so well. So that ended up in a situation where, you know, we are friends, and he's at the moment mixing in Texas, mixing our live stuff for an iTunes version of the album. But I had the opportunity of meeting a few producers. What I wanted was to have an American sound on the album, meaning that the Americans have a different tendency of recording drums, for example. If you listen to like Foo Fighters or whatever, they have, the drums are always massive, and I wanted to have a really massive sounding drum vibe on the album. So it's little technical things like that. But the main thing being that I just met with Matt Squire, and he was a great guy. We met for the first time. We talked about Brian Eno producing U2 stuff for, 3 hours. So, and that was about it. It was just, we were born the same year, 76, so we grew up listening to a lot of the same music or similar music. Big fans of Depeche Mode, big fans of The Cult, and those were the two. And then Guns N' Roses, we were trying to bring Guns N' Roses together with a Violator era Depeche Mode, having the Kraut, the Kraftwerk type sparse electronic vibe coming together, and also Aha, 80s pop coming together with the more like late 80s or 90s rock and roll. That was a plan, not to make a metal album, but to make a really melodic, anthemic rock album.
So he does have a very big role in the sound of the new record.
Yeah, a good producer always should, and in creating the songs as well. You know, I write the songs, but when you sit down and you work on a song, let's say a year and a half, you can't see the forest from trees anymore. You know, it's been such a long time, and you need somebody with fresh ears and, you know, new mindset to come along and say, you know, this little part here, you know, could be better, and then you're like, no, I can't. It is the best it can be. And then you have a little fight about it, and then hopefully the song becomes better through that. So yeah, it is important. I'm always willing. A lot of artists don't give credit to producers, but producer is the person who picks out the studio, who makes sure that we stay on time, deadline-wise, who makes sure that we have enough material, and who will make sure that everybody's performances are good.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to have a good producer, and I love Matt. So you know, we had a blast.
And was also the first time that you recorded in Hollywood in LA. Why in LA?
Second time, actually.
Second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did an album called Dark Light back in 2005. We recorded that in Silver Lake in Los Angeles, in a rented mansion at that time. And this time around, it was close to downtown LA. Yeah.
And why LA? And not in the cold Finland?
There's a couple of reasons. Well, you know, logistically, what made it easy is the fact that Matt, even though he's from Washington, D.C., has been based in LA for the past, 2-3 years. So we thought that working with a new producer for us for the first time would be the easiest if the producer would be feeling at home. So he would know the studio we'd be working in. You know, he'd be able to spend, you know, his wife was pregnant at that time, so he can really leave his family and all that. And then our record label is based in LA, in Burbank, Warner's. And then Skuse. And then the fact that we've been working on the album in the cold winter time in Finland for 6-7 months. So we thought that'd be nice to go somewhere totally different with a clear headset, and you don't have to listen to your wives nagging about stuff, and you don't have to pay your everyday bills, and well, you have to do it one way or the other. But anyway, you can concentrate on the essential.